Ai ukko ylinen luoja, ai ukko ylinen luoja, ai tahtoni taivallinen, ai tahtoni taivallinen, kuule kutsu lapseltasi, kuule kutsu lapseltasi. Hänet päästä vierellesi, hänet päästä vierellesi. Ne hoitaa toni taivallinen. Kuule kutsu lapseltasi. Kuule kutsu lapseltasi. Hänet päästä vierellesi. Hänet päästä vierellesi.
We just heard the new track from our guest today. We have Lovi from Finland. Do you mind introducing yourself? You know who you are, if you use personal pronouns and all that. Kind of your project, and talk about the new track we just heard, if you don't mind.
All right, hello everybody. I'm Otso from Lovi, and brain freeze.
No, you're good.
Yeah, I think my pronouns are he and him. Interestingly, in Finland, in Finnish language, we don't have gendered pronouns. So
Yeah, I think that's interesting.
yeah, I don't know why that is, but it just is. But
Yeah.
So it's a bit different to think about the whole thing, because our pronoun is just refers to a person, not a gender per se.
Yeah.
But yeah, also worth mentioning is probably that I was part of Shape of Despair back in the day.
You absolutely were.
long ass time ago.
Yep.
And yeah, been doing all kinds of music, or actually just playing by myself basically throughout these years after Shape of Despair, and then just a few years ago, I think it was in 2020, I kind of like almost by accident started making dungeon synth, and which created this band Lovi, and
Yeah.
and I think about the track, because it's maybe probably a lot different than most people would think Lovi is or was, because I started pretty much like everybody else, like with sampled instruments, and yeah, and then but with this new track, it was kind of like a long learning curve, because I made the track already like 2.5 years ago. I finished it, and but it was still lacking something, and what it was lacking, I think, was like acoustic instruments, and I think that was where I wanted to go with that, because I had the great fortune of getting Mei Yuenho to do the song singing, the vocals, which you heard, and she's just an amazing amazing artist and an amazing singer, and so I think God damn it. Trying to compose this whole thing in my head in English, but
You're good.
yeah. Well, anyways,
And like, so yeah, I mean, I think it's interesting, like you say it's not you know, maybe like unexpected for dungeon synth or whatever, but also like there's a lot of dungeon synth and folk overlap, or like you know, like dark folk and neo folk, or like just like, you know, like analog instruments you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like because I was really struggling with after the second album, Kirmu Karmu, which is a interesting name probably to pronounce in English, but but after that I was like struggling which way to go, because I already tried this more folky kind of instrumentations and sounds. I was exploring that through a sound library, and I kind of wanted to do something different. So I think the last time we did the interview with
the
you,
lost interview that unfortunately
it got never released, but I think at that point I was making I think back then I was trying to do like a theme of Twin Peaks or something like that, if I remember right.
I think so, yeah. I think you mentioned that.
Yeah, so I went through different kinds of phases of, trying different things, and nothing really clicked. And then I heard this Finnish folk musician and singer called Vilma Jää. She had this like traditional, I don't remember now it's like a Finnish tribe in a Russian area. I keep forgetting what it is, but anyways, it's a specific like culture there, and but they share in common with the Karelian culture like this runo singing, which is like or sometimes it's called rune singing.
Okay.
So she was doing that with the lyrics from they're probably from mid 19th century, I think, recorded. And then I kind of got an idea that what if I would like, because it was just kind of a cappella, so she was doing all these different kind of voices to it. And so I got the idea of what if I would make like a song to the background and make it more like a Lovi song, and which would like bring more kind of like mystique to it, and kind of like that dark folky kind of atmosphere to the song that might work like really well. So I tried that one. I made a horrible version, and I wrote some lyrics, and I sent them to Vilma Jää, and she like quite quickly, respectfully declined on the cooperation, which was pretty understandable. She's a professional anyway, so some random dude just sending her like a tape. Hey, let's make songs. But anyway, so I kind of wanted to still to explore this subject, even though she denied. So the first person that came to my mind was Meyer, because we had made maybe a few years earlier, and we kind of really hit it off. She was also playing like playing like a folk music and folk instruments, and singing folk tunes, and this rune singing she's also pretty good at, and I asked her to do it, and she did it like really well. It's the same vocals you can hear from the tape, but after hearing her amazing vocals on the like sampled instruments, I was like, oh man, this, like, there's something missing from this song. It really needs, something else. So I decided it's gonna be like acoustic instrumentation as much as possible, and kind of like approach it that way. But the trick was that I didn't really have money to buy acoustic instruments I wanted to use, I would have to get them like custom made, and it's pretty expensive. So I ended up building most of the instruments myself.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, kind of crazy project.
Yeah,
and
I'm
also,
sure.
because I'm playing the keyed fiddle, which is called in Swedish, it's nyckelharpa. So, which means like a keyed harp, or
Okay.
so. I built that, and took probably half a year to finish. But actually learning it to play, because I never played like bowed instruments before. That was quite a long journey until I got it to sound the way I wanted, and proper enough to be actually recorded. So yeah, but there's also some flutes and the flute solos, or whistles. Those actually those have been whistles I've been playing. I've been playing all kinds of percussion instruments before.
Okay.
And of course, before that, drums, and like I did with bands in my teens. But percussion instruments, and then flutes and whistles. So those are kind of the flutes and the whistles, like blow instruments. They've been I've played like all kinds of different folk tunes and so on. So, but I really never like practiced with a band or anything. So I was like okay at playing them, but I had to start to learn playing them again also. So
Right.
so it was it was in May 2021 that I released the second album. So it's been like over 3 years now. So, but I'm actually glad to announce also that May you will be joining Lovi's ranks, and as a musician, and she'll be also making some songs, and we're currently making the new album, and this is just a like first glance of what's to come. And so
That's awesome.
I'm really excited about that one.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what comes out of that. And were you gonna say something?
Not really. That was a long monologue.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's really cool. I mean, it's awesome that you made a lot of the instruments. You made all of the instruments yourself. Like takes a lot of dedication and investment and time. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And I mean, it sounds good. Like, it sounds really good. So that's really cool.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. And like you've been doing music for a long time. I remember when you first reached out to me, you mentioned that you were in Shape of Despair, which was like, whoa, because I know Shape of Despair has like been, around for a while, like, not like a long time in the grand scheme of things, but still like the 90s. And
yeah, well, yeah, there's actually gonna be another kind of reveal I'm gonna make, but it's about we're gonna have a 30th anniversary, so 30 years of Funeral Doom gig in Tiivistämö in Helsinki on 4th of January. So
wow,
there will be skepticism and oh gosh, what's the other band?
I think I've seen the flyer for it.
Yeah.
I was like, I forget to.
Yeah.
I'm so bad with remembering names.
Yeah, me too. Especially now being a little nervous doing an interview. 'Cause I never really done much of interviews. So kind of like the words and names keep just disappearing.
Yeah, understandable. I mean, I think you're doing good so far, so.
Thank you, Jill.
Yeah, no problem. You're welcome. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, about you actually messaged me and said you want to ask about more about the Shape of Despair things.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
What happened way back in the 90s and so on.
Yeah, I was actually curious about that. Like, so like, were you? I think you remember. I remember you mentioned you were involved in like writing with a few other bands back then as well.
Yeah, I was doing. I think I was mainly doing lyrics.
Okay.
So I did a lot of lyrics for Thigh Serpent.
Mm-hmm.
And gosh, I think my lyrics ended up with other bands as well. But on the
So did you like write the lyrics in like a circle and like share them, or like?
No, I think I was just one of the only guys who was like really into it.
Okay.
I really liked the poetry side and kind of like making them like having a vision of something and then writing a poem basically of that. So it was kind of like I remember Thigh Serpent went to studio. They were recording Christ Crusher. And previously, before that album, I think it was the Forest of Witchery, if I remember correctly. And they used one or two of my lyrics on that album. I was really stoked because it was like the first like real, band was releasing an actual album with my lyrics on it. So I was really stoked about that. And then they were already in the studio somewhere far from Helsinki. I think in Oulu, probably in Finnvox Studios or somewhere, and they were recording Christ Crusher, and I got a call or a message or something that, hey, we'd need lyrics for the songs. Most of our songs don't have any lyrics. It's like, well, I can send you the stuff I have. I mean, because I was just writing stuff, I never made like lyrics that there was already a song and then I would like get it fitted to that song, like probably professionals do.
Yeah.
but I was just, write shit and then show it to Jarno, who's the main guy in Shape of Despair, and my friends maybe, and then they would end up in some songs. But that was kind of like I think it has something like 9 songs or something, and 6 or 7 of those are my lyrics on Thigh Serpent's Christ Crusher.
Oh, wow.
And then one interesting fact is also that when Fintroll started, I knew the guys because they were hanging around in the same circles.
Oh, wow.
And especially I think whose brainchild Fintroll originally was, Teemu Raimoranta. He's I think his like stage name was like I'm gonna blotch this. Was it Samhain? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either.
Yeah, but anyways, he was the first guitarist, and I think he came up with the first like lines of music for that one.
Oh, wow.
Could be that he wrote all the songs like the. But anyways, I mean. So I wrote I drew the on their demo. I drew the cover, which has like a troll peeking behind a rock.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's sick.
But I can't remember. Did he ask me to, or did I just draw it and then he looked at it and was like, "Hey, I want to use that on our." I don't remember which way it went, but it's not a great great cover. And I have no idea what happened to the original drawing, like, because when Teemu passed away, you know, I don't know where all his stuff went, but so yeah. He was a wild dude, though. I mean, we used to get drunk in downtown Helsinki quite a lot, and there was a bar called Maestro. Back then, one of the only, like mid-90s, one of the only like metal bars, and we would hang out there, and we in the little hours of the morning would go to their like band rehearsal place that would have like just a like a heater in the middle of the space, because it was a basement in a really old building, and the heater would stay there, and we would have some doner and fries, and we would heat it up there.
Nice.
On the heater. And one time it was winter and pretty cold and snowy, and we were in probably like 3 or 4 a.m. in the downtown Helsinki. Teemu, this guy, he just takes all his clothes off except for his boots, just says, "God damn it, it's so hot." And then we marched a few blocks to their rehearsal place. It's like, all right. So he was a wild dude like that. I mean, he was up to all kinds of mischief every now and then. So
he sounds like a wild guy.
Yeah. But yeah, with Shape of Despair, actually we had a band before that. Well, Shape of Despair was called Raven at first, and we had a band before that, like probably in 92, I think. 92 or 93, we had like this like death thrash kind of band called Torture.
Okay.
Because we were just teenagers, early teens, and we really wanted to play some rough music. And there was Jarno, who's the main guy from Shape of Despair, and Tommy Ulgren, who plays in a million bands or has played also like lead guitar, and he played for a long ass time on Impaled Nazarene as well.
Yeah, I think I was looking at that.
Yeah, among others, he's been really at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, with us three, I think there may have been, because I don't remember correctly, but at some point, this guy from Winter Moon and Wanderer, Mika Niemelä, his artist name has been Azemin, how do you pronounce it? And I think he was playing as well with us, with that Torture, at least at some point.
Okay.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think so. So out of those, we did our first and last gig at the school, which some of us were still attending to, like 9th grade or something.
That's cool. That must
yeah,
be
we
crazy.
we did like a live show there. We started with which is so cringe now when you think about it. We started with Metallica's, like the is it Lust for Gold or something like this, the opening from the Good and the Bad and the Ugly movie.
Oh yeah, I think I remember hearing that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they actually they used to at least use it in the 90s like as an opening song for their concerts, and we were also doing that, and I think that was funny.
That is
Funny
pretty
as
funny.
fuck. So, so I think when that band ended, the guys kind of like started just practicing their instruments, and I never had my own, like, because I was a drummer back then. I never had my own set, so I couldn't.
So did you just show up? Like you were just like you just showed up like you could drum. You did drum. Did you like use someone else's set?
Yeah, there were, because we used to rehearse at places that already had like a drum set.
Okay, so that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, first we went to the elementary school that we were at least formerly attending to.
Mm-hmm.
In Länsimäki in Vantaa, and
Okay.
And after that we went to rehearse there's these places called like youth centers in Finland.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like common for teenagers to hang out, and there's like adult supervision there and so on. So in Länsimäki they had like a band room,
Right.
and I think they really regretted that one, because we went there and teenagers drinking beer and playing really loud music. So that's where like at least Raven started.
Right.
I think first Raven was in like 94. It was, I think Jarno made it like made like more like black metal, like faster stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But he wasn't content with it, and then for some reason, I think my memory isn't clear on the subject, but I think we were listening to at least Strid among other things, like the 7-inch from Strid.
Mm-hmm.
So like slow brooding
Yeah.
black metal.
That's a really good 7-inch. I love that one.
Yeah, that's I still listen to it every
Yeah.
now and then. It's
Same.
awesome. It has such a specific kind of like mood and feel to it.
There's
So
not
I
much
think
else
we
like
were,
it.
yeah, we were definitely listening to that, and I think just someone, probably Jarno, got the idea that, hey, what if we like slow this the fuck down, like make it really, really slow, like really brooding and slow. And he started making riffs to it, and we were really excited to hit the, we probably had like a once in a week, time we went there and played with probably like 20 watt, like really shitty speakers and and so on, and recorded some rehearsals, and everyone was like excited in that band, like, oh, this sounds so cool, like it's so different than anything else, and we found like the thing that defines the band, so let's go with that. And so it grew up into eventually as a Shape of Despair. So
Yeah.
but then later on, when we got all the material more together, and we went to the studio, and when we got the record deal from Spinefarm,
Mm-hmm.
I really felt that my skills aren't good enough, because everybody else had been progressing a lot in their playing,
Right.
and I was still just only playing when we went to the rehearsal place, or at that point, some of our friends already had like rehearsal places, so you play maybe there and so on. And so I really felt that I wasn't up to the task. So they got Samu Ruotsalainen aboard. So, and he's a really, really great drummer, who also later or soon after that started playing in Fintroll for longest of times. But but I don't remember how, but we kind of like, cause Raven and Shape of Despair were always like instrumental. So I think we just dabbled along at one studio recording we did. I think it was that was released on vinyl, the Alone in the Mist album, or like it's more like a promo, and we just suddenly just wanted to try out my vocals, and they're pretty vague, and they're not like what do you call it, like they're not put into place in any way. It's just like hit record and try to put these lyrics like in some sensical manner there. But also, like when recording the actual album, Shades of, the debut album of Shape of Despair, I remember going to the studio, and we hadn't rehearsed any like vocals or anything, like, or like made any like intellectual effort in putting them in a correct place. So it was basically just, we were at the studio, they would again press just record, and then I would have lyrics in front of me, and then Jarno would be nodding at me from the mixing booth like when to start singing, and then I had to kind of like compose the singing parts almost like live. We probably took many takes, but still I was kind of like just adjusting because they were the lyrics were pretty short,
right?
Also, so I had to come up with how to make them sound like use longer sounds and so on, and then I somehow came up with this like really long S, like a shh, and then after 20 years I only heard that Jarno was laughing that they had to remove so much of the S S's from the from the recording with the mixer, because they were just monumentally like too much. And there I was feeling proud of myself for coming up with a way to spread things thin, kind of. Yeah,
I mean, that's a tough way to go at it, to like to approach music, I think.
Yeah, I don't think we would do it like anymore if I were there, or if I was in any band. Basically, I wouldn't I wouldn't recommend going that way. But it's I don't know, kind of felt like necessary at the moment. But
yeah, I think that's the thing, is sometimes, I mean, with the times I've been in bands, like we've kind of just, we're rehearsal, we just kind of go at it, so to speak, like, just whatever, like, this is the vibe we're going for, let's jam it out or something. Sometimes I've had to like more writing approaches, but it just depends, I think. I mean, I've heard like the band A Weakling like for like Dead as Dreams, like there's just no lyrics. It's just the guy just showed up, did the vocals, and I'm like, dang.
Okay.
I mean that album's sick. So
I haven't heard it. Have to.
yeah, it's pretty good. I think they're from California.
Check it out. Okay. The Weakling
US
was
black metal. Yeah.
Okay. Well, to be honest, I don't really listen to a lot of black metal, so.
Understandable. What do you listen to mostly?
Well, lately it's been mostly like Swedish folk music, like traditional, all
That's
kinds
cool.
of. Yeah, and then some. Well, some dungeon synth, but it's very little, and and with metal, I mainly am like my choice is mainly like death metal, so that's what I really like.
Yeah.
And love about metal mostly. But I was at a death metal show actually yesterday, and
Oh wow.
and it was
What bands?
Devonial Verdict and oh gosh, here we go with the names again.
I'm sorry I asked.
Lich and Tomb and Morbific, yeah.
Okay.
Morbific
Yeah.
is pretty good. It's quite a young band with young guys in it.
I think I've heard them.
Yeah,
The name sounds familiar.
yeah,
I really like a lot of death metal. I haven't been to
yeah. It was a great gig, but I was still kind of like kind of in a mood like do I really would I rather be listening to maybe some folk musician right now? Probably.
Yeah, understandable.
Because I went to so many metal gigs. It's kind of like I don't know. It's just a phase right now. I think like not being super enthusiastic about it.
Yeah, I think sometimes there's always like times where you got to take a break from it or something. I've had that recently
definitely.
where like I listen to a lot of metal, or I have for like years and years, and after a while you just kind of get like, you go to enough shows and you're just like, I don't know, I want to see something else for a second or hear something else.
Yeah, definitely.
My ears need a little bit of a break. It doesn't mean I don't want to listen to metal. It just means, or don't like metal. It just means.
Yeah, I did have at one point, because when I moved, I left the band Shape of Despair. I actually moved to Lapland to study handcrafts.
Oh wow.
So back then I think I had like almost like a 10-year pause in metal, because I just didn't want to listen to at all.
Yeah.
Like really grew tired of it. But what I was listening to a lot of like traditional folk music around the world. But one thing that always stood by me, even from the early like teens, was Dead Can Dance. That was like
Awesome.
that was something really that touched me like in a deep way.
And I think that's it's almost like a way to, you do dungeon synth now, so it's almost like planting the seeds of that, I would say, almost.
Do you mean in Lovi?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's like a pipeline. I think there's a Dead Can Dance to dungeon synth pipeline that exists, if that makes sense. I don't know, like...
Yeah, actually, I've been kind of... Because I dig so much the things that the band does. I mean, the Dead Can Dance and the artist. And it's kind of... It has to show, like... through the music I've been making, kind of in one way or another. I mean, I think one of my friends, the first version of this Rukous song that we listened to in the beginning, I think the first version sounded even a bit more like Dead Can Dance. One of my friends said that hey, this is like has a little whiff of Dead Can Dance to it, or Brenda Perry.
That's
Brenda
awesome.
Perry's whiff scent of Brendan Perry on it, and I to me that's such a huge compliment
Yeah.
to even suggest that, because I adore the band so much. It's like in my 20s it was almost like a religious kind of
Yeah.
band for me. It was so like profound and important
Yeah.
for me. So actually I got to see them live after like about 27 years of being a fan, and I finally got to see them live. I went with my wife to see them in Prague in a couple of years ago, I think.
Oh wow.
2 or 3 years ago, yeah.
That's awesome. I bet that was really cool.
That was something.
Yeah.
So anybody who has a chance to see them live, then please do.
Oh yeah.
It was beyond awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah. So, kind of how did you get into Dungeon Synth? I think we probably talked about in the last interview, but that's lost media now. So.
That's an interesting question. Well, in the beginning, I think before Dungeon Synth, the term was born, of course.
Yeah,
like everybody else, I was listening to Mortis's first albums, and especially the first two ones. And I was playing on my Amiga 500, Commodore Amiga 500 at home, still living at home, so.
Yeah.
I think playing like computer games and listening to the music you like, or that would fit the mood, kind of like carried on.
Yeah.
To Lovi in a way. I think I think one of my like visions for it was like that it would be suitable for playing computer games and having that on like background.
Yeah.
But for actual like Dungeon Synth, the modern stuff, I think I heard the term from one of my friends who's a real connoisseur. Shout out to Vel Karn. I think he was part of the kind of the creation of the scene in some ways. He was sharing a lot of the tapes from the scene from the 90s, and I don't know about the details of that, but
right.
But anyway, he mentioned it, and he mentioned a few bands, and I think I gave them a listen. I think it was Depressive Silence and Lord Lovidicus.
Nice. Those are some really good ones.
Yeah, but for me, they didn't, I didn't, catch on to what's
Right
it about. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like I was listening to them and like, oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, this is music. I wasn't big on them or anything, so, but then I started playing Conan Exiles, like on a role-playing server.
Yeah.
And I was like stupidly hooked to it. I spent like I don't even care to say how many hours I spent on that game, but it's too.
I got hooked on it once when I played it. I played it on they gave it on like PlayStation, so it was a console port. It was really bad.
Okay.
And I ended up just doing like a custom server at the end of the day just to see what the rest of the map was, and I was like, this game would be really cool if I played it on PC.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I have
can't
a PC
even
now.
imagine.
Yeah, I didn't have a PC at the time, so I was just like, oh wow. But
Yeah. Yeah, that RP server thing was just like, creating your character and then trying to live the kind of world through the character's eyes. It was so addictive.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I had to stop. It was taking all of my free time, like literally, like every hour of my free time. But luckily I got out of the addiction. But anyways, during that time I kind of was like, because it was only like type in role playing. So it took a lot of time to even have a small conversation between characters. So I was like craving like good music, like background music. So I think it was back then that I started like, I need fantasy music, right? So I was like, this dungeon synth thing, like let's give it a try. Like, what's all the kind of music that's around there, you know? And then I ended up with Dim and Thief.
Oh, nice.
Which, those really like hit me hard. I was like, wow, like this is exactly what I wanted. My friend Velkarn, he was joking that whenever I found the similar music than those two, he was like, well, you found that Ultima thing again, like, cause I used to play a lot of Ultima games.
Yeah.
So they kind of resembled that kind of a feel of the Ultima world, like Dim and Thief. So I don't know, probably was that. But anyways, yeah, I think those were like the artists that really got me into the. And there are some really great artists also in Finland. Back then that I found. One of them is Estok, who has only, unfortunately, just one album out currently.
I've heard that one.
Yeah, first chapter or chapter 1, and then there's also Magi. It's like Magi, but with double A's.
Okay.
Maagi.
Okay.
And their debut of Lords of Olor, and to my great delight, they released also a couple of more albums after that, The New Sun and The Long Sun. So those are also amazing, but he's stepping quite far away from the like any kind of traditional dungeon synth sound, if you want to define it, like really. But I don't know. I'm not too big on the branding things. Like, just if it's good music, I love it.
Yeah.
I call it whatever you will, but
yeah. That's how I feel about it too.
Yeah. But yeah, Dim and Thief were definitely the big ones for me.
Yeah. Those projects are really good. It is very good music for like in the background, and like when you mentioned like a text role playing server, I was just thinking of like I haven't played that many text role play servers personally, but I've looked at hopping on Neverwinter Nights before. I don't know if you've played Neverwinter Nights. I've been on like a dungeon crawler server there.
Okay.
That's just like you're just making a D&D 3.5 edition, like you're just doing a build, like you're just smacking enemies and leveling up, and then seeing what you can do with the mechanics of the game. There's like no role playing. And like I've listened to Dungeon Synth while doing that, but that is there are like the servers there that are like text based and stuff like. Okay. Yeah, makes me think of how that would be. That's like a good accompaniment for like any game. I guess it does that. So.
Yeah, it is, because obviously, if it would be like voice based, you couldn't like. It would be distracting to listen to music at the same time. Maybe.
Yeah.
Or would have to be like at a really low volume.
Yeah, like really quiet.
Yeah. So, where did you end up listening to Dungeon Synth?
So I ended up through when I was getting into black metal, like really into black metal.
Okay.
When I was like end of high school, I was just browsing Bandcamp. I got really into like atmospheric and depressive suicidal black metal, and stuff like that.
Hence Street, right?
Yeah, exactly. And there was a album by Grimrick, the German artist, labeled in it was on the black metal tag, and I clicked it, and then I was like, this is like, there's like no guitars, and I was like, I don't know what this is. I was like really I was like conflicted because at the time I was I was not into electronic music, so I was like this doesn't have real instruments, and I was like, but it sounds amazing. And it kind of like changed my outlook on that. I would say it was one of those things that, other than like hearing like keyboards in or like electronic elements in like other rock music and being like, I don't know, that sounds good to me. Like that was one of those things that really shook that up for me. And then I kind of saw the Dungeon Synth tag there and found the blog and kind of went from there.
All right. That sounds a bit like the kind of like approach I had, because at first I was thinking like, because it's usually a one-man band, or just one artist behind the music. So I was really hesitant about or kind of reserved about the live aspect of it. But then I think like a year ago I went to see for the first time, it could be even the first time there was a Dungeon Synth live event in Finland. If you don't count Mortis's like a one show in Steelfest, but like outside of that, it was Talvi and Nest playing at a bar in Helsinki, and I was completely blown by the kind of the I think the kind of the emotion of the live performance, and like the whole atmosphere kind of like sucked you right in.
Oh yeah.
And I was really surprised of it, because I was like really kind of reserved about it. I was like, yeah, this is never gonna work. Maybe being a bit douchey about it, but I was really happily surprised. So we're actually, on that note, we're kind of like trying to put or contact, have some kind of a Dungeon Synth scene involvement in Finland right now. So we've been messaging with a lot of artists. So we're currently talking with, because I met Nest, the guy behind Nest, during the summer, and we spent some time together, and we were talking about this, and he was thinking about, as was I, about like live events in Finland. Like we should definitely have those. And then I was like, well, then we need to start taking contact with to artists, and finding out who all these people are and so on, so we can talk together. So we currently have a small group together. There's Estok, Magi, Talvi, Jääportit, Nest. Magi also has Wormwoods, which I really recommend to check out.
Mm-hmm.
It's WYRMWOODS,
Okay.
and it's really great, like a weird fusion kind of metal, jazzy things, and
Ooh.
I think he plays saxophone there as well, and synths and all kinds of crazy shit, but really great songs.
That's awesome.
And then we also have Kay Håkan from Meadow Grove, and Tony from Rune Song / Myrrys from Lapland. Yeah. So slowly getting there. I don't know what will happen, but
Yeah.
but it's feeling great to get in touch with everybody. So
Yeah, that's
I mean,
awesome. I mean, it's really
Yeah.
awesome to see that, like, there's enough people, there's a lot of people there, and you're, like, kind of getting them all together.
Yeah, well, little by little, at least trying. So
Yeah. I
kind of create something out
yeah.
of that.
I got to see Nest play at Great Lakes Dungeon Siege, and that was really wonderful and great. I was, like, blown away.
Nice. So,
Yeah.
oh, you were there for the whole
Yeah.
festival?
Yeah, I was there for the whole
Nice.
festival. I forget what's the name of the Nest, but he's a very nice guy, like very, very, very. He's actually standing behind me when I came in one of the days, and like I'm on crutches
Mhm.
right now because of an accident
Mhm.
earlier in the year, and he actually got me a stool or a chair to sit on, and I was like,
Yeah.
thank you.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Aslak. is his
Aslak, yeah,
name.
Aslak.
Yeah. Yeah.
Aslak's a really nice guy. So,
He's a really great guy.
yeah.
Like I said, I spent some time with him during the summer, this summer, so it was awesome.
Yeah.
Just, talking about all kinds of things, basically.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, and I also met this guy during the summer from Estok, like,
Oh wow, awesome.
yeah. So I got some great news to everyone who's, I shouldn't call it great news, because I really don't know when he's gonna release. But he's making new material for the next album. But,
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, but like with Lovi, it'll probably take some time. So
Yeah. I mean, that's always good. At least
Yeah.
it's worth it in the end. So,
yeah, exactly. I think he also, from the talks we had, he's he wants to do a great job, and you can really hear it from his debut album as well.
Mhm.
It's it's really good, like crazy hooky kind of
yeah.
melodies and
Yeah.
so on. So it's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, also, I think, I can't say anything for sure, but I think we're gonna release the new album for Lovi, depending on so many factors. I think I still have to make some instruments, so some canteles for sure, but I would be hoping at least to get it released within 1 or maximum 2 years. But it, like I said, it depends so much on so many things.
Yeah.
Mayu is also really busy. I think I forgot to mention Mayu's, because she used to be a keyboardist on Ensiferum
Oh, wow.
metal band. Yeah,
Damn.
from 2001 to 2007.
That's awesome.
And and she wrote on 2007 their album Ensiferum's album. She wrote 2 of the songs, I think. So, and she now has like her artist name is Mithrian, and she releases music through that name. And she also had like more folky kind of bands, Mammoth, and she's currently playing in Coldbound and Green Rose Fair.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there you go. I had to write this down because I can't remember them anyways.
Understandable.
Yeah, so that's why it probably sounds like I'm reading text, because I am. But yeah, she's like, she plays, a lot of instruments, canteles, keyboards. I think she does some flutes as well, and
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it was a great kind of match, because we both completely adore and love Dead Can Dance. So.
Oh yeah, that's.
And also like Nordic folk music. So.
That's awesome.
It was really made so much sense, and I was really happy when I asked her, like, well, after this Rukous song, which means like prayer in Finnish. I asked her to join, and she said, yeah, well, of course, like, it's a great project. And I was like filled with gratitude and proudness, even, like, because as an artist you're like more or less like every now and then, or sometimes for longest of times, like being really like kind of like insecure and kind of like thinking that nobody's gonna listen to this, but I don't think it matters in the end, but it's kind of like a annoying theme that keeps on.
So you mentioned that you mentioned that Lovi was made as like an accompaniment for like games and stuff, but you also mentioned that you or at least you've alluded to being a big fan of like the Ultima series. Is like the Ultima music have an influence in Lovi at all for you, or like?
Yeah, definitely. Actually, I made the version from, because I was playing on Amiga back in the early 90s. I was playing mainly like Ultima 5 and 6 from the series, and I think on Ultima 5 there was this looping one song that was both like awesome and infamously annoying at the same time, having to listen to that for the hours you were playing. So but it was a really great tune, and it almost starts like Metallica's One.
Oh wow.
And it has the same melody, but I think it was written a bit before, or actually released earlier that the same year that the game was. I mean,
interesting.
The game was that the Justice for All was released. So it's pretty interesting how that went. But
makes you wonder if they were Ultima fans.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
I don't know about that either.
I'd like to think they were more like, about drinking and being in a band and and chasing girls or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I have no clue. I do know. I remember when I was younger and I was much more into Metallica. I would hear about it was like also like YouTube was like not early days of YouTube, but like semi-early days of YouTube, I guess. But there was a bunch of conspiracies that always was like, this is what Metallica plagiarized their song from. Like a bunch of like plagiarism accusations towards Metallica. I mean, one of them
Alright.
was like Enter Sandman, and it was like pretty much like the song was very similar. I was like, it's a bit surreal. I'm like, this does sound like they just completely like jacked it.
Oh, I missed those news altogether.
Yeah. I have no clue if they're, I have no clue if they're founded, but it just made me think of a funny, like one was taken from Ultima.
Yeah. So I ended up making a song out of that.
Yeah.
But that's on Bandcamp, but I couldn't release it for obvious reasons on Spotify, because you have to get rights to release cover songs. So
Yeah.
it's possible on DistroKid, which I use for the distribution, but it has to be a song that's been released on an album. So, and that definitely hasn't been. So
Yeah.
I don't want to take the risk, nor do I want to kind of like,
Yeah.
be unfaithful to the original composer.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's interesting, like, video game music is in this tricky area from, like, when I've looked into a lot of it, or at least in my free time, like, I kind of read about it and whatnot, but, because, like, the rights is, like, where, it's like it belongs to, I guess, like, the developer in some ways, depending on, unless the composer is, like, a known composer. But like some of those games, like the people who made the music were just like programming the game as well.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah, I
it's,
think
like, fine.
Yeah, I think especially the early, like 80s and 90s.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a bit messy down there. But yeah, that I think for the Ultima, the composer is known, but
Yeah.
But yeah, it's actually it's funny. I remember when I was a kid, and then when I was a teenager as well. Well, of course the sounds of the like game music was kind of like juvenile because it was attached to games, but gaming in general was considered for the longest of times like a juvenile thing to do. And I kind of like it. There were so many cool like tunes involved with the games, and sometimes I would just listen to the tunes by themselves. Like I think Utopia is one of the great Amiga games that has a really excellent soundtrack. I think it has like 4 really long songs in it.
I don't think I've listened to any Amiga soundtracks on their own, but that sounds like I'm really curious to now, because I listened to like Super Nintendo soundtracks and stuff. So
yeah, Utopia, and also I remember liking Hired Guns had a great soundtrack, but I think it had more sampled things in it, if I remember correctly, but like sound samples and so on.
Yeah.
And then of course some classics like Last Ninja and Shadow of the Beast is great, like the first game. I just actually listened to the whole soundtrack just like last week, I think so.
Wow.
Yeah, actually this Finnish artist Magi, he's pretty or the artist is pretty as I was talking to him, I had written down a review of the album some time back ago, and I had listed like games which the song or the album kind of resembles the Lords of Valor album, and one of the games was listed was Shadow of the Beast, and he said himself, like, to me without knowing that, like, well, you know, Shadow of the Beast was one of the big kind of, like, I was thinking like getting that 90s kind of game vibe to it, and especially like Shadow of the Beast, and I was like, well, you know, I heard that. Because it has a very peculiar kind of like atmosphere to it, the first Shadow of the Beast game.
Yeah.
Definitely check it out.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. That sounds really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of great music.
Yeah. So you had the you had the Amiga for a while, it sounds like.
Yeah, I think like early 90s I was still playing with it along in the, I think, 97, okay. 98 still, so.
And then have you just been like primarily a PC, or like PC, like, I guess like Amigas are early PCs in a sense, but.
In a sense, yeah. I think they had the best graphics at that time. And kind of PCs they were around in the mid 90s, early 90s, but their sound systems were like really lacking.
Oh yeah.
So Amiga had like really crazy good like audio and also visuals. So it took some time for the PCs to pick up, but after they did, well, I think Amiga or Commodore went bankrupt and or just stopped producing anything quite after that, or late 90s or something. Yeah. But I didn't have my own like a PC until long time after that. I think it must have been like 2007 or something, 2008 or something.
That's that's quite a bit. 2008 was like there'd be quite a shift in graphics from the Amiga to 2008.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You know, downloading movies and whatnot.
Yeah, being able to download movies
legally, of course.
Yeah.
There was no Netflix back then, guys.
Yep. Did not exist.
Yeah. But yeah, that was it was crazy to see, like, if you think about games now, like what they are, it's they're just like, you know, I have to limit myself, you know, because I would spend too much time gaming. Yeah,
understandable.
I have so many other things to do, so you know.
Yeah, it gets kind of hard to do the, I guess, like, separate game time, like to find game time when you have more responsibility, or like to find a way to make video games compatible with that, I guess, depending on what you play.
Yeah, and also because I want to do so many things besides gaming, so and there's only a limited amount of time, free time you have, so it's kind of like you have to prioritize, and you know, sometimes I prioritize gaming. Like I've been playing DayZ now with my brother. We just rented a server, but we only do that on weekends basically, and late night. And then I have like this like Valheim frenzies every now and then. And yeah, so I don't know, I think that's about it. Like most of my games are that those two games basically. But I'm actually really looking forward to because I was a huge Conan Exiles fan but I'm not gonna play it anymore. I just spent way too much time on it. I'm really waiting on the Funcom's new...
the Dune game they're making?
Yeah, Dune
Yeah.
Awakening, yeah. That's gonna be so... I'm so interested in that one.
It looks really
I'm always
interesting.
scared.
Yeah, I'm really interested in seeing how that goes. I'm usually not that big into like survival crafting games, but I'm really interested in seeing where it goes. Cause like, I don't know, it could be pretty good. So, or it could be really bad.
Yeah, could go either way.
Yeah.
But I'm maybe gonna, pay the... It's probably gonna be that $60, which is the usual, or 65, or what is it nowadays?
Yeah, it's like 70 for some games though.
Yeah. So I'm gonna pay that one and try it out and be addicted beyond my mind for a few weeks maybe, and then come back to reality after that.
Yeah. just freaking disappear into...
Yeah, it's kind of... I think that's the great thing about computer games, is that you just completely lose yourself in it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If I get
So
like my headphones on and stuff, I'm just like kind of there.
In the zone.
Yeah. I've not tried VR headsets yet, and I get scared to try them.
Oh yeah, I've tried those. Man, crazy.
Yeah.
I actually tried these. There's a Finnish company that makes these that have like two screens inside of the field of vision, and the other screen is like high definition, but it mimics the eye, so it scans where your eye is looking at, and then it shows only because your eye can only see like a small portion of the field of view as high res.
Yeah.
So it'll show only that, and the rest of it is like a low res picture. So you get like a lot more juice out of your system.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think it's more. I think it's more. It's not really a gaming platform. It's more meant for like a 3D design and stuff like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I tried it at work because I work at the National Opera and Ballet of Finland as shoemaker. So
That's really cool.
yeah, one dude was setting it up at an office there, and they're apparently using it for checking out like props and stuff like that, like in 3D. But yeah, had the fortunate to walk on by the room. Oh, what's that? Can the shoemaker try it out?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was awesome.
Yeah, that sounds really awesome.
Actually, one thing you mentioned about really like diving deep into the kind of getting lost into the like gaming or music.
Yeah.
I think that first happened to me. I remember when I was a kid, like we used to have some kind of like sound system at home, and like stereos and like crappy headphones and so on. I was probably like 9 or 10 years old, and I was listening to the first time like music really hit me was I was listening to like Bach, like classical music, and just going really deep into the world kind of, or let the music kind of take you, and also kind of in the same genre. Bon Jovi's "Slippery When Wet." So those two albums I remember I was listening to a lot.
Nice.
Just kind of taking in the the atmosphere of the music and so on.
Yeah.
And later on, you mentioned about being hesitant about the like synth music, synthesizers.
Yeah.
And I remember when I was a kid, I was probably like 10, 11, 12 or something. And we had like on cassette like this synthesizer greatest hits, they were called. And those really blew my mind, you know.
Yeah.
I was listening those like intensely at times, like.
Yeah, I've actually been listening to a lot of like new age tapes of like early synthesizer, or like not early, but like 90s synthesizer tapes on YouTube, because they'll get like uploaded to archives, and a lot of them are really cool, like crazy stuff, like just like take you somewhere.
Yeah, it's kind of like weird. I remember it was kind of like, I think I had a friend and we would like make up stories.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like we would take turns making up stories about the music, because the music would give you moods, and then you would like narrate it kind of like to a friend, and that was kind of weird.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of like what's going on there?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that was. But I think with metal, the first thing that really hit me was actually also Metallica.
Mm-hmm.
And their Black album had just come out, and everyone was basically listening to it. Just regular people in school. Yeah. And I remember we were taking part of like arts class.
Mm-hmm.
And you could bring your own music there, and someone put on the whole album.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point I was so into the music, like the aggression and everything,
mm-hmm.
that I suddenly like come out from this kind of like well, it's not like a dream, but like a I don't know what to call it. Anyways, kind of like a dreamlike state.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm holding a chair over my head with two hands. And the teacher is yelling, "Put that chair down, put it down." I was kind of like, wanting to just, start breaking stuff, because it was so powerful, the emotion I got from, and from then on, I knew like this is something I really wanna. This is it. So that's kind of like the turning point, which made me a metalhead, more or less.
Yeah. I find that for me it helps with a lot of like anger feelings and stuff. That's especially where like I go into like death metal and stuff. Like death metal is like my angry, like I'm really angry genre. And then like black metal is like sad metal to me, kind of. Sometimes it's angry.
Okay.
Black metal is kind of like, I don't know, it's like, to me it's like a different thing in and of itself. It's very.
Did you have like a similar experience in any way, like really some some album or song or whatever that really got you hooked into metal in general?
Yeah.
Do you remember something like that?
Yeah, I have a few that got me really into it. Honestly, I remember like I bought a copy of Metallica's "Injustice for All" on CD when I was like 13.
Mm-hmm.
And I listened to that one quite a few times. And then I want to say I got into more extreme metal by listening to Amon Amarth.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
It's a Swedish band, right?
Yeah, they're a Swedish band, but it was like
Yeah.
I listened to the album. I think it was One Cent from the Golden Hall. I just kind of listened to that one all the way through, and that was really good. Back then, though, it was hard for me. Like I had to pirate albums or buy CDs, or I had to pirate songs or buy CDs. So I would just like I remember. Yeah, I remember back then. Yeah, I remember back then I would order them online, so my mom didn't, because I realized my mom didn't check the mail, so she'd be like, so I could just order some like freaking death metal, and she wouldn't, she wouldn't know. I forget which, crap, I forget what I ordered back then because I don't have it anymore. But yeah. I remember ordering a bunch of, like, I'd order movies that way too, like just order it online.
Yeah, I did that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
In I think really early, like 2000s, when I moved to Lapland to study, and I think like the like online stores, like music stores, were just beginning to pop up.
Yeah.
And I would buy all kinds of like world music. Some of them turned out to be really good, and maybe some of them didn't, but there were some gems in there, and
yeah,
that was awesome.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, Bandcamp was really cool when that started coming up too, because like that was right when I would say like in high school. So like that's when I really started getting deep into music. Like I would say like probably the album that got me into black metal was it's a Woods of Desolation album, As the Stars. Yeah, As the Stars by Woods of Desolation. I remember like I was just in class, and like I had this 3-hour electronics like programming class, computer programming class in my technical school.
Oh, you had those?
Yeah.
All right.
I went to a technical school, so I kind of voluntarily chose that. It was like a special, not really a special school, but like the school I went to is like a string of other schools that were like, once you reach like junior year, you can just go to this other school for technical school. And I was like, yeah, I want to sit at the computer for 3 hours. It's like, yes. Like I went there on tour, and I was like, I went into the computer class, and it was really chill, and I was like, this is what I want to do for the first 3 hours of school. So yeah, it's like, if I can do that, I'm gonna do it. And I mean, it was beneficial in more ways than one. But I remember like I'd have like really bad days just because I had a really bad home life, and I listened to Woods of Desolation, the album, and it just kind of like just took me somewhere. It made me feel a lot of emotions, but also just like took me through them. And, yeah. Also like
that's the escapism that's the great side of fantasy and movies and stories and so on.
Oh yeah. Yeah, games were like that for me growing up a lot.
So what was the band called?
Woods of Desolation. They're like
Woods
an Australian.
Of Desolation.
Yeah, they're an Australian band.
I've never heard about them, but then again, I honestly don't know a lot of bands. Like I don't.
I mean, they started more recently, in the grand, like 2010s or so. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm completely out of the loop.
No.
Anything that happened after maybe 97. I know very little about.
Yeah. Understandable.
Yeah. I mean, some genres that I am really into, I sometimes like start to follow them, or
Yeah, that's what I tend to do. Like when I got into metal, because it was like, I would say like the mid 2000s. late 2000s. A lot of the older, I didn't check out that many older bands. Kind of just would get into what I could get access to, and then when it was Bandcamp, I kind of took what was going on currently, and then I was.
And Bandcamp back then probably didn't have like bigger names or artists.
No.
The record labels didn't use it at all. I think.
Yeah, it was the really like early days where like you could like where everything was basically like there were just like DIY labels if there were labels.
Yeah.
And that's what it was really nice about it, because I was just like really into that aspect of being able to keep track of underground music that was going on at the time.
Yeah, I think it's a really great platform because you can release music free, but then you'll get like a payment for it if you so wish, and if people want to buy it.
Yeah.
So it's really like compared to the other like Spotify and other platforms.
Yeah. One thing that I don't like about it is just like the idea that once like the bigger names started getting in there, it kind of made it harder to use, because then and now it's like kind of just bogged down by a lot of other factors. So yeah, I stopped using it as much. I use it mostly to just kind of buy stuff I already follow, support artists, or if I find an artist, I'll find their Bandcamp. But I've been doing a lot of exploring of like old music for the past few years too, just because there's a lot of old stuff I hadn't heard. And I was like, this is really good.
Yeah.
It's like
there's even before like I had my like periods in life when I was listening to stuff from the way back in the 30s or 40s, and Frank Sinatra and early like blues recordings, and man, that's there's some really great stuff in there.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, blues is one of my like personal, passions in a sense. Like I don't know that much about it, but I every now and bump into some artists and then find out more about them and so on. But it's kind of like I really like the gritty kind of like a man and a guitar.
Yeah.
Kind of like some of the Muddy Waters, like early stuff with just a guitar and him and John Lee Hooker, of course, and kind of like Delta blues things, and
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bounce around a lot lately. I mostly listen to like, I don't know. It escapes my brain because I listen to a lot of stuff at work, and then I forget about it, and then I come home and I'm like, I'm gonna do something.
Yeah, there's so much music. It's overwhelming, and I just mostly leave it be.
Yeah, exactly. It's like also as I've gotten more interested in making my own music, I get less and less interested in seeking out, like, in a sense of like just stuff to just kind of listen to, like in my I don't know if that makes sense, but like just like sometimes I'm just like like I just kind of want to work on my own stuff at one point, at sometimes, or etc. I don't know.
Actually, talking about that reminded me, because last time we were talking, you asked like, has the kind of the live scene changed?
Yeah.
From the 90s, and I said like not really, but later on I did discuss with one friend of mine, actually, Juha Takalo, who made the Lovi, like the cover arts for the cassette and so on. He's a great guy and does an immaculate job at what he does. But he's also like a really big music geek. Like
Yeah.
he knows basically everything about everything.
Right.
At least from my perspective. And but I was talking about that being on gigs in the 90s, because I probably was, you know, under the influence back then mostly.
Mm-hmm.
So didn't remember correctly, but he made a point that actually in the 90s the usual behavior on a gig was just you would either mosh or stage dive or crowd surf. And those were basically the things you would do. So the new things on gigs are these mosh pits and wall of deaths and what else is there? Were at least mosh pits, because they came in somehow from apparently the hardcore scene. So
Okay.
that was like a hardcore thing to do, and it kind of like bled out to metal culture for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I think it must be because at some point the whole thing with the stage diving, I remember
Yeah.
when coming, because I said I had almost like a 10-year pause in metal, and then when I came back and went to gigs, people were just mainly standing. This was probably in the 2008 or 2009 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And people were just standing because I think partly it was because somewhere in those 10 years someone had stage dived and died.
Oh wow.
So they kind of put a ban on the whole thing. So a lot of concerts just read like there were signs like no stage diving or crowd surfing or anything. You weren't allowed to do much of anything. But of course, and I think from that kind of like the spectators kind of took the rules into their own hands and started, you know, mosh pitting, because it's like dancing.
Mm-hmm.
Like a big fuck off to the organizers.
Yeah.
I don't know for sure, but this is just I'm probably wrong, but that's the way I kind of perceive it. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, someone can get mad online and call me a liar.
Yeah. We'll eagerly await that comment from the person who listened
Yeah,
long enough
please.
to call you a liar.
Yeah, please educate me.
Yes.
I need that
Yeah.
a lot. But yeah, that's the main things that have changed really.
Yeah. Have you seen a wall
Yeah.
of death like firsthand?
I think there were some in Tuska. Tuska is one of the biggest metal festivals
Okay.
in Finland, and I've been attending that festival quite frequently, even though there's rarely anything I want to see, but I just mainly go see friends and get drunk. So
Yeah. I mean that's a
Yeah.
good time, I guess.
yeah, it's good times, yeah, definitely. So, but I think there I've seen it, yeah.
Mhm.
Nothing like really big ones, but
Yeah, I've seen maybe like one or two. I've seen one that was really large at a show in Cleveland. It was pretty.
okay.
It's pretty crazy. I was like, kind of just watched it. I was like, I'm not gonna. I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah, I won't even go to. I did go to mosh pits every now and then.
Mhm.
You know, I'm quite a big guy, really tall and like 6'5", and I mean, but I still might get hurt. I met so many
Yeah.
people during one year. I was participating, and I was talking to a lot of people in festivals, and I met people with crutches and stuff like that, and with their nose operated, and you know,
Oh yeah.
because of mosh pits. So I was like, yeah, fuck that. Not gonna injure myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not worth it in my opinion. I've gotten injured in a mosh pit before, and it was just like, it's not a good
really?
time. Yeah.
What happened?
So I went and saw the band Knocked Loose, and the hardcore band, and one of my friend's band was opening. And this was in Cleveland, and during his set there was like a mosh pit, and it was like me and one other dude, and this guy who was moshing, he was like punching the floor, and then he started like just like laying back on the crowd, and like he like smacked, and like when I saw him punching the floor, I was like, I'm just gonna move and like leave, like I'm good. But then like right after he did that, he decided to go lean back on the crowd, and his hand like smacked me, and my teeth were just like loose in their socket. So yeah.
God damn.
So he knocked my teeth loose at Knocked Loose. But
Oh man.
yeah, it was pretty gross.
But you got it fixed.
Yeah, I ended up going to a dentist, and they put
Here's
some
my
plates.
tooth.
Yeah, they're like, I was like, here, and my tooth's like loose. I spat out like a baby tooth, and I thought I lost like one tooth, and it's like, oh no, that's just a baby tooth. And I'm like, oh, I saw a baby tooth when I was like 22, like, or 21.
What?
Yeah, I was like, what? Okay. It's like that was just there. Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Losing a baby tooth at 22.
Yeah, I mean that's it's the American healthcare system for you, I guess. It was like that was like the first time I had been to the dentist in so long, because I was in college and I was able to actually go to the dentist, because like nobody took me to the dentist when I was a kid. So I was like,
All right.
yeah, I was like, yeah, I haven't been to the dentist, and they're like, oh, your teeth aren't that bad for how long? And I'm like, cool, dude, that's great. So
Damn, it's like actually my parents already, like my father had dentures.
really,
Yeah, but he got them as a teen.
oh wow,
Yeah, so it was very. They told me that it was very common during the like 60s and 70s. There was virtually no like dental care in Finland. So people would buy as I don't know what is it called, but when you're in when you belong to the Lutheran Church, and then you would have like confirmation. When you're around like 14 years old, I think it's called confirmation. I don't know in English, but there's a tradition that your relatives will buy you, or give you money and buy you things, and so it would be like a usual present to get dentures, like when you're 14.
wow,
Because you'll be losing your teeth, and sometime then in the early 80s or beginning of the 80s, the government like decided, okay, we got to do something about this. Our kids are walking without teeth, basically. So
I'm glad they did something.
Yeah, they started like a national, throughout the whole country. All kids are like, their teeth are checked like from the first grade until, gosh, I don't know when, maybe the 9th grade.
Oh wow.
And it's free for the kids. So
Yeah.
yeah, so definitely help my mouth quite a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure.
Good old sweet tooth and rotten teeth.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It costs a lot to go to the dentist here in the U.S. Like, I'd say like it depends. I've seen bills like it costs like $1,000 for a visit, or like more. So.
Well, it's the same here if you go to a private one, but you do have like state provided dental care, but the lines are really like big. I think you have to stay in line for a couple of years or something.
So it's like the private is almost like get it quicker.
Yeah, you just they provide like you can get some kind of like a discount through the city, so they pay some of the expenses.
Okay.
But it's still a lot more expensive than, of course, than.
Yeah.
I think if you go to the city or state-owned like a dentist, it'll cost you just like $40 per visit, no matter what they do there.
Okay.
Or something, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, enough about dentists.
Yeah, enough about dentists.
Not my favorite subject.
No, not mine either. I'm not a big fan of dentists. I mean, I'm fine in a dentist chair, but depends. I think it depends. My last dentist was pretty chill, so.
Yeah, I'm not too afraid of it as well, but.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, what else have you what have you been doing mostly, like in your time when you're not working on the music lately?
Well, I've been making mead. Actually, now I haven't. I got one batch coming up. But,
oh wow!
Because my son is turning 18 and it's a legal drinking age here.
Okay.
So he wants to get drunk with daddy's mead. So I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
But I did. I was like a year ago. I was making a lot of different batches, like experimenting, and I eventually ended up. There's this really big mead competition in Poland, like an international one, and I ended up getting gold and silver.
Oh wow!
With two of my meads, yeah.
That's crazy.
That was it February this year? Yeah.
Dang! Congratulations.
Yeah. Thanks. It was quite awesome. Like both of them were like gold and silver. It's like nice. Now all I need is the bronze.
Yeah, you have the full set.
But I don't know if I'm gonna participate anymore, like on the new or next year. Let's see. I'd have to start making the batches already, but
yeah. What kind of mead did you make for that? Like, was it like just like honey mead, or was it like, did you have anything else in there?
I've been only making like session meads, so they have a low alcohol volume. Okay. So it's around. I was going for like because I'm really interested in basically just the kind of like beer-ish. Like a beer style, easy to drink kind of beverage. Yeah, there's
a brewer out here that does that with their meads, and I'd like to pick them up sometimes because it's like you get like 4 cans and they're like really easy to drink.
Yeah. So I've been making those. I had 3 entries, and one was like Bochet, which means like roasted honey. So all the fermented sugar was like roasted honey, and then I added some American oak there, and like vanillin and stuff like that. But that didn't get like high scores. It got high scores from like the way it looked and smelled, but the taste wasn't that good. And I thought so as well. I mean, it didn't just. It was kind of like it wasn't balanced. But the two winners were like the other one was like just plain honey mead with like wild honey, and then of course some tannins and so on, like and acids to balance it out, like to get a good mouthfeel to it, and and sugar as well.
Oh wow!
So with those I got with a specific yeast and a process. Then I got it like super clear and really heavy on the carbonation. So it was almost like prosecco or something, like really bubbly.
Yeah.
You know, champagne-ish kind of. Because I really like that one, and that got a really high score. It got like 90 out of 100.
Oh wow!
And then but that won silver, and then the gold medal was like guava fruit and orange blossom
Ooh.
water.
Ooh.
So orange blossom flavor and guava, they really like pair each other like really well, and I got it working like really good, and that was awesome.
That sounds really good.
Yeah, so that won the gold. It got a little lower score. It got 84, I think. And but yeah, those were good.
Nice. That's awesome. Do you like sell that at all, or like give it out to other people?
Well, I have been giving it out. I can't legally sell it.
Okay.
It's pretty strict, the laws here. But I have been giving it out, and maybe someone has sponsored me with a gift in exchange, but to sponsor my hobby.
Yeah.
But yeah. But it's kind of like I get super into it sometimes, and like currently I'm not like really super excited about making meads, but I think it'll, because I have so many other stuff right now, like I have to rehearse the songs to the live gig for the Shape of Despair gig, and and been doing that every week, and then I'm also planning on possibly starting a business teaching making sneakers.
Oh wow.
To people, so like keeping sneaker courses, like so I've been planning that a lot and applying like grants and stuff like that, so it's been being real busy in that sense. So
Yeah.
that's another thing I've been like doing.
Yeah.
Also apart from the music.
What have you been rehearsing with Shape of Despair? Are you doing vocals or drums, or are you doing just the vocals?
I'm just doing the vocals, yeah.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, I was really surprised when Jarno called me, like, hey, we're having a 30th anniversary, gig. Would you mind coming and do a few songs from the debut album? I was like, oh God. I have to get on stage and perform in hopefully quite a large crowd, so
I think that would be really cool though. Probably nerve-wracking in some ways, but
Yeah. But it's only a few songs, so I've decided just to, try to take the most out of it, because it'll probably not happen anytime soon. So, so yeah, it's really exciting to be a part of that. So
yeah, that's really exciting. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On that note, I think maybe we'll continue another time.
Yeah, I think so.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. We're near the limit. About 2 hours. We have about 2 hours. We covered a lot of stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. Was there anything else you wanted to say before we see off the listeners? Or
Well, I think we'll release the song after this program comes out, so people can first listen to it here, and after that it'll be released on all platforms. So
awesome.
Give it a listen and everybody stay in tune for some more Lovi news. We'll be making more music all the time, so be patient. Our stuff takes time, but hopefully it will be worth it to everybody to listen to it. And thanks for giving this opportunity. It's been, again, just absolutely wonderful, and I'm honored to be on your show.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for being on the show, Atsa. Really appreciate it.
Thanks.